I saw Mortal Kombat and it was ass. It's your boy Germ, this is Kinetic Aesthetic, and I'm blessing you all with a double dose of Media Review Wednesday just to talk about how terrible and shitty this movie is. There's really probably not enough time for me to list all the things I dislike about this movie, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to do that and keep this review under at least 20 minutes because it really doesn't deserve over 20. It's just a bad movie. It's not good. There's no real respect for the lore or respect for the history of Mortal Kombat. And yeah, I know I sound like a little bit of a nerd, but just respecting it goes a long way because when you're trying to sell a product or an entity that's already known, you think you would have a little bit of respect for it. But but Warner Bros has once again shown they don't, and they just really don't like their supporters or people who people who support the shit that they own. I guess I'll start and I'll just get off with my number one issue. Why the hell did they need to create an original character to insert into this film as the main character when you have fucking Liu Kang in there and Scorpion and Kung Lao and Sonya and you could have just did Johnny Cage? Just for starters, that makes no sense. So they already got off to a terrible start with that one. I didn't get that. I really didn't understand what the whole point of that one was. It's like I said already, they show they don't really respect the lore and what's already been established with the franchise, but it was just dumb, and you introduce this guy, you spend the first 30 minutes, no, not even 30, you spend the first 10 minutes of the film establishing Scorpion and his family and why he cares and all that stuff. You show him in the fight with Sub-Zero. It's great. Literally the first 10 minutes of this movie are great. It's literally everything after that is where you'll just be like, what the fuck, the entire time. Yeah, you introduce your main character getting his ass beat. So you're in a fighting. This is a story based off a fighting game, and you started off with who we're supposed to root for, the main character getting his ass kicked, and this is before all the superpowers and just supernatural shit gets introduced. I have no idea what that was supposed to establish, why it was supposed to make me root for him, but it did. They introduce Sub-Zero and they show him killing him, but they really don't explain why any of it's happening. They just show, okay, he hates him. Again, there's no explanation. There's no real explaining anything. You are supposed to know, which is another big problem with this movie. It's aimed at these casual people, but they really don't explain shit aside from superpowers, which they do in a dumbass way. This movie, though, it's like I said, it's like I'm gonna keep saying, it's trash. It's booty. You have Goro. I'm just gonna be going at things randomly, and I'm gonna be using spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, you should probably click off now. I know that's a little late, 3 minutes in, but yeah, I'm telling you now. You introduce Goro, the second to last character in the original game, one of the strongest characters in the universe. He's consistently one of the strongest, and you have him get killed by the original main character who was getting his ass beaten looking like a bitch. That's how you treat Goro. One of the more, literally an iconic character. Everybody knows. You don't need to necessarily know what Mortal Kombat is, but you can recognize Goro if you're a fan of video games. Why do you do this? I understand when you are transitioning an already existing property onto the major off to a feature film. A lot of times you're gonna have to leave stuff on the cutting floor. You're gonna have to just cut certain details. They butchered it. Like they didn't present anybody right. If you're gonna create a sequel off this and you're gonna cover the first movie, who replaces Goro? Do you just bring him back and just like, oh yeah, I know you already beat him, but he's back now and he's still a threat. He's still strong. Like, how is Liu Kang supposed to beat him in the next film and have it actually feel impactful or like it means anything when we've already seen it happen? When the dude who's literally, they made this guy seem like he's more of a threat and more capable than Liu Kang and Kung Lao. And I'm telling y'all, this is. I had an argument already with someone who is not the biggest Mortal Kombat fan in terms of the series and everything. So he was just like, why do you care so much? Why are you so bothered? It's because this is such an easy thing to do, in my opinion. It's so easy to keep it simple. and they just couldn't do it. And like, if this movie fails, or if it actually gets a sequel and that fails, it's gonna be because of this type of shit. Because this isn't Mortal Kombat. Goro dying in the prequel is not Mortal Kombat. You've completely changed the story into something else. Jax getting his arms, that's okay. I know I already talked a little bit about the Arcana thing, and it makes sense for characters like Liu Kang, for characters like Kung Lao. But why? Why are you trying to use it to explain certain things where that was just like literally just technology? Like Kano having his eye powers, that apparently comes from Arcana or Arcana. I don't know how to pronounce this shit. I didn't care. You have Jax getting his metal arms from that shit. What? What? Jax does not get his arms from magical powers. He gets his arms because they got ripped off by an enemy, and he got them replaced with some technology. That's not even that was not necessary. That's the thing about this movie. A lot of the shit that they did isn't necessary for it to work. They just did it because they had to. I guess they felt like they had to explain certain things. It's trash, y'all. It's really trash. Shang Tsung is the main villain. He's barely around. It's like, what the fuck were you doing with him? He doesn't fight anybody. Raiden, why is Raiden there? I don't like I don't like Raiden. I'll be honest. This Raiden sucks compared to the last one. The only thing better about this Raiden is that he's actually Asian, so it somewhat fits, I guess. But still, like, what? Melina, she's another highlight, I'll say, just because, she looked good. They actually managed to pull off Melina, the character, pretty well. I don't know how you introduce her without introducing Katana. Again, like, why are you doing these things? But it is what it is. Kano, I know a lot of people love Kano. They think Kano, I know he got love. So I'm not gonna shit too hard on Kano, but I will say, why is this man on the hero side? His entire character history, he's a villain, he's a bad guy, he is the scum of the earth, he is never on the good guy's side. Yet for some reason, you're going to include Kano on the hero side. This movie, it's like they just didn't have any respect for it, and it shows. The budget was only $55 million. I don't know anybody who knows numbers like that in terms of movie production and everything, but that's pretty low, especially considering it's a major feature-length film. You've got all these, you're marketing it like it's such a big major length film, and they didn't give it any money, so they couldn't even get some of the characters that people wanted, like the actors, I should say, that people wanted, like Michael J. White. A lot of people wanted him as Jax. They didn't do it. Not to discredit the guy who played Jax at all, but it's little things like that could have made this movie at least feel better. Like it was a little bit of fan service in there mixed in. But no, this feels like a complete corporate abomination. Like a Frankenstein monster where you just take something. They took Mortal Kombat, killed the motherfucker, then they turned it into a Frankenstein monster with this film. Scorpion is your most iconic character. Everybody knows Scorpion. He's the creator's favorite character. You don't see him until the end. Why? You have this character that you introduce. I knew he was going to be his relative, his long lost son or anything. I still hated it because it was unnecessary. You didn't need to do it. Just have him be the Scorpion avatar. Okay, the actual Hanzo is dead, but we're going to let you be like his avatar so that we can have you in there and you can, I guess, be Scorpion while not being Scorpion. But no, they don't do that. They introduce him in the stupidest way. Just dumb. Just dumb. His daughter looks like his sister, and his wife was like, I don't know, y'all. There was a lot of just weird shit about this movie where it's just like, okay, it feels like they tried to make an A+ budget film, A+ like tier movie, and all they could manage was like a B-. And it's a shame because Mortal Kombat deserves better. You can say what you want about the first film and about Annihilation, but they at least felt like Mortal Kombat. This doesn't feel like Mortal Kombat to me. This feels like somebody took something that's similar to it, or they took Mortal Kombat and they just added their own bastardized spin on it, and it's a shame. It's a travesty. You just had 3 video games that came out in the past 10 years. All of them did the story better than this. All of them. Actually, it's more than 10. I think the original next gen one came out in 2009. So I'll misquote it on that. But still, how do you sit there and let this get past the cut and print? Like, how do you sit there and let this shit come out? Because this is not good. They just didn't do the characters any justice aside from Kano and Cabal. Reptile shows up and if you've played Mortal Kombat, you know Reptile at least always has a bit of a humanoid form where he can stand up, he can really throw hands and be like a martial artist. This one, he's literally just a giant fucking lizard. Reptile is a giant fucking lizard. I get it. He's a lizard in the game. I guess they wanted to make it somewhat realistic, but what in the hell? He doesn't even look anything close to anything we've seen in the games. And again, I'm going to keep preaching this. Respect the source material. You'll go farther. You'll get a lot more love. At the very least, if they would have respected the source material, I could at least pretend that they tried to make something true to Mortal Kombat. If it was bad, it would have just failed, and I could live with that. But this is just... They didn't give it a chance. And you're supposed to tell me you want to make 4 sequels based off this? You already got spin-offs planned? I don't want to see shit else. I don't want to see this. How are you going to... I don't know how you make an entire universe out of this. You've already done things that completely butcher the rest of the timeline. So unless you're coming up with an all OC original story for Mortal Kombat, and at that point, why even call it Mortal Kombat? So I just don't know. I don't know. This felt like something that would have been very easy to do. I probably did get my hopes up a little bit too much, but when you see a game come out, when you see something that already has a story, this already pre-established, I just don't know why you try to do it yourself. I guess that's why I am where I'm at, and I am not some Hollywood executive, but I just hope that people will understand where I'm coming from on this one, because it feels like I watched something that I've loved, that I've really just like, I really like it, Mortal Kombat. It's not just the game for me. It's not just that. I really do feel like they did a good job of getting you invested in the characters. It's been consistent from the franchise's beginning. Even when they rebooted it, they rebooted the timeline. They made it all make sense so that all the stuff that happened in the previous eras of the games, they still happened. So if the game designers and the people who write the story can put that much thought and care into it, why can't these movie executives? Why was that so hard? Why did you have to create some OC to just make people to just fill in some role that could have easily been filled by multiple other characters? It didn't even need to be just Johnny Cage. They could have just had us follow Sonya. We could have followed Sub-Zero. We could have done so much other shit. Like Liu Kang is right there, Kung Lao is right there, Raiden's right there. The trilogy that they just came out with, that storyline is better than the shit that it seems like they're gonna go for here. But we will see. We will see, y'all. Like, I know that it's already debuted #1. It beat out Demon Slayer. I don't know. See, that should be what they're warned about. This is a known franchise, an American iconic staple, and yet you were struggling to beat this new manga movie. Like, really? Mortal Kombat can't just come out and beat, especially in this climate when there's really no other competition aside from a Japanese product? You can't beat that? You can't beat that decisively? I don't know. I'm not excited for this at all. I'm really disappointed. And it's like I said in the intro, I'm learning, Warner Brothers is not to be trusted. They will let you down. They will find ways they'll miss an easy ass layup. Like, the people at Warner Brothers, they will be on a fast drive, ball in their hand. You'll think there's no possible way they can fuck it up, and they'll fuck it up. But that's my thoughts on Mortal Kombat. It's ass on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being nuclear winter and fucking Terminal, and 10 being the song Flex by Playboi Carti. I'm giving this shit a 5. It's a light 5. At most, I'd give it a 6, and that's pushing it. I've watched it twice already, so I feel pretty confident saying that about it. It's not something I want to watch again, ever. Yeah. I'm honestly, if I feel like I want to watch a Mortal Kombat movie, I'm gonna just watch the cutscenes of the game. That's how bad this one was for me. But yes, this has been Kinetic Aesthetic. It's your boy Germ. If you like the movie, I hope you like it. I hope you found some enjoyment of it. If you're not a fan of Mortal Kombat, you probably will enjoy it. You'll probably think it's at least a 7 out of 10. Because you won't really see anything to compare it to, or just be like, oh damn, they did that when they should have did this, or they changed up his backstory like that. So I can understand why people who aren't into the series might feel that way, but yeah, as a fan since I was in middle school, this some suck.